Remove anxiety. 20. Stoic mind shifts for inner peace. Stoic bloom. What if the source of your anxiety isn't the world, but your own mind reacting to it? What if the calm you crave doesn't come from fixing your life, but from fixing how you see your life? In this video, you'll discover 20 Stoic mind shifts that have helped emperors, exiles, and ordinary people like us stop overthinking and finally breathe again. Part 1. Anxiety starts in your perception, not in reality. Today I escaped anxiety, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Or no, I discarded it because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. With this one realization, the Roman emperor cut straight to the core of our modern struggle. We chase peace through schedules, status, supplements, yet forget that the true battlefield is within. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Anxiety doesn't begin in the situation. It begins in your judgment of the situation. You don't panic because your inbox is full. You panic because you've told yourself a story. I'll never catch up. I'm falling behind. I'm failing. The Stoic approach isn't to deny the stress. It's to interrupt the story, to separate fact from fiction, pressure from panic. Seneca warned, "It is ruinous for the soul to be anxious about the future and miserable in advance of misery." How much of your worry is about what's happening right now, and how much is about what might possibly, maybe happen next month? Here's the truth. Anxiety often disguises itself as preparation. But preparing and panicking are two very different things. One is grounded in control, the other, a spiral. The Stoics weren't suggesting apathy. They were prescribing clarity. They believed that once you reclaim your perception, anxiety loses its grip, not because the world changed, but because you did. So the next time your heart races, ask yourself, is this real, or is it my mind playing tricks on me again? And if that kind of honesty feels like mental weightlifting, don't sweat alone. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom. Share this with a fellow overthinker. Drop a comment with the last time you worried about something that never even happened. Let's laugh at our imaginary disasters together. Stoic style. Stoic Bloom. Master your mind, or it will master you. Part 2. Imagined anxiety. When your mind becomes the monster Seneca once observed, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. It's a painful truth, but an empowering one. Most of our suffering doesn't come from what is. It comes from what we imagine might be. The Stoics recognized that the human mind is a double-edged sword. It can build empires or destroy peace. One moment, it's strategizing. The next, it's catastrophizing. We twist a delay into disaster, a silence into rejection, a challenge into doom. Here's the reality. Your imagination is louder than your circumstance. You may think you're overwhelmed by your to-do list or your bank account, but in most cases, you're overwhelmed by the meaning you have attached to it. The mind grabs a single unknown and spins it into a cinematic trailer of despair. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Stick with the situation at hand." The Stoic solution to imagined anxiety? Zoom in. Come back to what's in front of you. Return to the present, where life is almost always more manageable than your mental forecast. It's not weakness to worry, it's biology. But to let worry dominate your perception, that's untrained thought. And the Stoics saw training the mind as the most essential form of self-respect. The truth is, anxiety rarely survives the light of logic. When you ask yourself, why is this so unbearable? Why can't I endure this? You often realize you can. The discomfort is real, but the doom is optional. So the next time your thoughts take off like a runaway horse, rein them in. Examine the story you're telling yourself, and above all, remember, your fears are powerful. but your awareness is more powerful still. Stoic bloom. Reality is rarely as cruel as your imagination. Part 3, let go of the future. The present is all you ever own. The Stoics were masters of time, not in bending it, but in respecting its boundaries. They knew something we constantly forget. The future doesn't belong to you. The only moment you ever truly own is this one. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, do not let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Stick with the situation at hand. That's the discipline. That's the secret. Not forecasting 10 years ahead. Not obsessing over all possible outcomes. Just staying here, now. Anxiety thrives in the phone of tomorrow. It feeds on the uncertainty of things that haven't happened. And ironically, the more we try to predict and pre-plan every inch of the future, the more we suffer in the present. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Peace is not a product of control, it's the fruit of surrender. Seneca wrote, wild animals run from the dangers they actually see. We, however, are tormented alike by what is past and what is to come. What a brutal but beautiful observation. Animals run and rest, humans run and keep running, mentally, emotionally, endlessly. So what's the Stoic alternative? Simple, not easy. Participate fully in the present. Speak truth in this conversation. Do justice in this task. Breathe into this discomfort without flinching. The future will come soon enough. And when it does, your preparation will not be in prediction, but in presence. Because the person who trains themselves to stand steady in the now is already ready for whatever comes next. Now, if you're still time traveling mentally while watching this video, pause, breathe, and do the most Stoic thing imaginable. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom. Share this video with a friend who's living 3 months ahead of themselves. Drop a comment with one thing you're going to stop worrying about next week. Because frankly, you've got more important things to do today. Stoic Bloom. Be here. Think clearly. Live wisely. Part 4, accept what you're given. Align with nature, not against it. One of the most liberating yet confronting Stoic teachings is this. Love what you've been allotted. Not just tolerate it, not resentfully accept it, but love it. The people, the place, the pain. Why? Because nature, they believed, doesn't make mistakes. Marcus Aurelius said, reverence so that you'll love what you've been allotted. Justice, so that you'll act only as the law and value of things require. This isn't a passive shrug at fate. It's an active embrace of the moment, of reality, of the cards you're holding, however imperfect they may seem. To a Stoic, suffering often arises from resisting what is, not because the event is unbearable, but because our expectations were unrealistic. We expected ease and got effort. We expected praise and got silence. We expected forever and got impermanence. But nature doesn't care about our expectations. It simply unfolds. And we, as rational beings, have a choice. Fight it and suffer, or flow with it and grow. This is where anxiety dissolves, not in escaping discomfort, but in reframing it. When you believe that everything happening is part of a larger design, not personal punishment, your resistance softens. You stop shouting at the wind and start adjusting your sails. Seneca put it perfectly. The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be. In practical terms, this means shifting the question from why me to how can I meet this well? It means viewing life not as an obstacle course to be resented, but as a practice ground for virtue. Because once you stop demanding that life fit your plans, you start becoming the kind of person who can face any plan with grace. Stoic bloom. Don't resist the current. Learn to steer within it. Conclusion. Anxiety ends where Stoic practice begins. If there's one truth that echoes through every Stoic quote we've shared today, It is this: your peace begins the moment you stop outsourcing it. The world is loud, uncertain, and often unfair, but your inner world doesn't have to mirror that chaos. The Stoics weren't promising a life without pain or fear. They were offering a path where clarity triumphs over confusion, presence over projection, and virtue over emotional volatility. A path where anxiety no longer drags you through imagined futures, but where reason guides you through the moment you're in. You don't need to eliminate all worry. You need to understand it, question it, and shrink it with truth. That's the Stoic way, not to armor yourself against life, but to engage with it fully, wisely, and without illusion. And if this message resonated, if even one sentence brought stillness to your storm, I invite you to walk further with us. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom, where we don't just share quotes, we practice transformation. Share this video with someone who's tired of wrestling with shadows. Leave a comment with your biggest insight from today's episode. It might be the light someone else is searching for. Remember, you're not broken. You're just not yet fully aligned with your power. Stoic Bloom, don't escape the world. Strengthen your mind within it.